Hey everybody, welcome to this amazing day. It is got a little bit of jitter in my stomach. I've got so much excitement and pride to be here with all of you. This is a community event. It is us growing and developing as a city and as a region to grow the craft of product management. And we have an amazing day in store for you. First off, as you see, I'm Brent. I'm from InVision. On behalf of Dan Storms and the EXO Group and Amy Stewart and Cornell Innovation, we're just so excited to have you. There's been a lot of fun planning going today to make this a really valuable, engaging use of your time and to help you connect with others here in the room today and throughout the day. We have sponsors officially this year. We're growing up. We also have these wonderful, innovative sponsors, Heap, Pendo, and User Testing. They have booths outside, tables where you can go and learn about what they're up to. They're going to be leading discussion panels at lunch if you want to join. This is us giving you more of the things that you asked for. And gosh, I mean, just thinking back on the last couple of years, we did this because we thought that there was a big opportunity to increase the conversation in New York. It started with a couple of product leaders sitting at breakfast saying, gosh, why is New York not having these conversations to build these Bay Area-like companies? We have really smart people. We have awesome resources here in the city. We have creativity. We have capital. We have universities. Where's our Facebook, Pinterest, Salesforce companies? How do we get these organizations to be more user-centric? We started humbly at the EXO offices with about 150 of us 2 years ago. Last year, we were at the first conference at Cornell Tech with around 220 people. And here we are this year with about 340 people. So it's awesome to see returning faces, but by definition, many of you are new. So thank you for being here and give yourself a hand. So look around. These are your colleagues in the New York product community. You'll see each other at meetups. You'll see each other writing blog posts. You'll see each other at events like this. You'll interview each other. You'll be interviewed by each other. The longer you stick around in the product community, the more faces you get to know. And that's such a wonderful, warm thing, because we are all user-centered. We're all looking to solve real problems together with best practices of our craft. I especially want to welcome some of the bigger teams that are here today. Alpha's got a bunch of folks, Alpha Sense, EXO Group, and InVision. The sponsors, New York Times has a bunch of people here. WW, which is the new name of Weight Watchers, has a big team here. Olympic, One Kings Lane, who am I missing? Amex. So thank you guys all for coming. Oh, lastly, SeatGeek. These organizations, you brought big teams. It's awesome to have you, and I hope that when you guys all bring our learnings today back to your teams, those organizations can chat about it together and bring it back. But we want all of you guys to bring it back to your organizations. So let's talk about this conference. This conference is a product, right? You guys are the users, and Dan and Amy and I want to make sure that you guys are happy users. We think about how to serve you. We started with this idea of let's bring everyone together. And so the user is targeted to be the emerging mid-career product professional in the New York City area. That's the key persona. We don't want to just provide introductory content. We want to provide real valuable content so that you guys can grow your craft and get to that next level, but also meet a range of other folks so that you're expanding your community. We think about your jobs to be done. So today is set up around learning. It's around having those take-homes. It's around meeting each other, and there's a lot of time for you to spend time together. And it's about figuring out how to take that stuff home. So those are the jobs to be done that we've thought about for you guys. We've thought about your user research. We asked you what topics you wanted to cover. This year's theme on product strategy came from you guys, from some surveys that we've done for the end of last year and this year. The panels are the topics that you guys chose. We think about the UX. We have a bigger space. We have different food. We want to make sure that your user experience is great. Last year at Cornell Tech was amazing. It was an honor to be the first conference that they hosted there. But several of you guys said, going to Roosevelt Island was challenging. So here, we wanted to give you a more central location. Acquisition, we think about how to acquire users, as it were, which is mostly Dan and I tweeting. So we should get a little bit better about that. And of course, we think about NPS and how do we keep on making this a better and better experience for you guys. As Dan and I were talking on the topic this year, what we don't talk about very much is product strategy for this conference. We've said a conference is the right thing to do. You guys seem to like it. The numbers are going up. You people are happy. And we're getting really warm feedback. But what is the strategy for this conference? Well, our goal, as I shared with you, is to help grow the craft of product in New York. Our strategy, bring you together, help you learn, and help you build relationships. Is this the right strategy? I hope so. But I'll tell you what, I don't think about this very often. And should we be building a partnership with the city of New York? Should we be putting out more content, more events, fewer events? I don't think about it that much. I just think, let's put on an amazing conference, and let's put up some meetups in the year in between. Product strategy is something that we don't think about that much, or many of us think about not enough. And so I actually polled a bunch of great folks about product strategy. I said, hey guys, from these amazing companies, including some of you in this room here, what is product strategy, and do we do it well, and any pithy comments to share? You've got the New York community here. What do you want them to know? The first thing I asked them is, what is product strategy? How would you define it? My guess is, with the 330 of you here today, that we would get 330 different answers. When I actually asked these folks, well, the words were different, the definition was the same. Product strategy is a goal and a path to get there. It's as simple as that. You don't need to fumble in your head, like, what is it? What is this, that? It's a goal and a path to get there. That's it. These are the words people used. It's a future state and the rules to get there. It's the North Star and our resource allocation to get there. There are lots of different ways of describing it. But so you remember, it's just a goal and a path to get there, and making sure that is clear, it's clean, it's well understood. I think you're going to like this one. I asked these CPOs, what percentage of your product leaders do product strategy well? So show of hands, I'm going to break it up into 2/3 and up, 1/3 to 2/3, or 0 to 1/3. What percentage of your product leaders do product strategy well? So what percentage of you guys think that 2/3 or more do product strategy well? So meek, little hands not raised that well. But I see maybe 10% of people. What percentage of you guys think that they would say it is 1/3 to 2/3? Product leaders do product strategy well. All right, so a good representation here. And what about 0 to 1/3? Wow, okay, so you got to fire your bosses. If you don't think that the product leadership is doing strategy well. And guess what? That's what they said. They're like, of my directs, the VPs, directors of product management at my company, I only think that 20 to 33% of them actually know how to do product strategy well. Well, crap, you're following these people. Don't you deserve a good product strategy? I also asked them, what percentage of product managers do you think do this well? And the answers were just a tad bit lower. It's pretty much the same. If we're successful today, and the topic that you wanted to talk about, product strategy, we help you all think about framework and pay more attention to product strategy. Guess what? You're all going to be top 30th percentile. That's pretty awesome, right? That's high ROI from coming to this event. So what else? What are some of the other interesting things? Naveen said, well, you know what? It's all well and good for your product leader to have a good product strategy, and you as a product manager to have a good product strategy, but I got to do it too. In fact, Naveen was vulnerable enough to say, I've screwed it up sometimes, and when I screwed up product strategy for times at Foursquare, everybody felt it. So you have to demand not just your bosses, you've got to demand everyone to have a good aligned strategy. Sarah said that, well, gosh, not only do you have to have a good strategy, but marketing is going to have their strategy, and finance and sales is going to have their strategy. You got to know what it is so you're working in the same direction. So these are things that often get overlooked. If we're rushing to execute and operate, which is what we do with most of our time, and don't take the moment to step back, think about it, and communicate it, we're all just going to be bumping into each other's heads. I also ask these folks, when does it matter? When does product strategy matter? If I do it very little of the time, when should I be doing it? We actually got 2 camps. Half the camp said always. Always be doing product strategy. Always think about the context that you're in and be willing to change it. And the other half said at key moments, such as you're doing a quarterly life cycle and a regular check-in. There's a big moment, a big launch comes, or there are competitive changes, and say a big private equity company takes your number 1 competitor private and then says that they're going to merge your 2 companies, which is going to be familiar to some of you in this room. Those are key moments to rethink your strategy. When does it not matter? So those same people who said it always matters, well, they're consistent. They say you should never not think about strategy. But it can also be exhausting. I mean, it's so important, but we forget to do it sometimes, or we choose not to do it. It's cognitively taxing to do it. But when can you actually say, I don't need to think about strategy right now? When it's execution time. When the context is clear, I've got a good plan, I don't need to revisit the road. As long as I've got sensors out to know when things could go wrong or when the dynamics change, I can execute now. So as we think about takeaways for you guys today in this audience, in this community, know the definition of strategy. It's a goal and a path. That's it. Make sure that you have it for you, for your boss, for your boss's boss. If it's unclear, demand it. I remember once I was walking around my team, and I asked them, some of the product managers and product designers, what's our strategy? And they couldn't articulate it. It's not their fault. It's my fault as a leader that I haven't made it super clear. Because if I haven't made it clear how they're supposed to make great decisions that are going to work for the best of the company and for the best for our users. 3, think about it more than never. Probably more than you do today. And 4, because most people aren't good at it, most people don't pay enough attention to it, you can up your game and have a much bigger impact at your company by paying attention to it and driving it through. So we're going to keep coming back to that today. What is product strategy? Do you think about it enough? Can you operationalize it, make sure that it happens? Let's talk about the day. We're sort of broken up into 3 slots. We've got the morning session here. We're going to kick it off very soon with Carolyn from Peloton and hear some of the amazing strategy that they put in place there across product and marketing. Then we're going to have 2 wonderful panels. We'll break at 12:15 for lunch, hour and a half for you guys to network, discuss, eat, do whatever you need to do. There's going to be some discussion panels from put on at particular tables by our sponsors if you're interested. When we come back from lunch, we're actually splitting into 2. For the first 80 people who are interested, we're going to be putting on a project kickoff workshop by master educator Drew Bridewell, who spends 250 years on the road doing education at companies about how they can have better teams. So that's going to be fun. You guys wanted to do something more hands-on. We're going to try that. The rest of you are going to come back here for 2 amazing panels. Then we'll take another break. And then we'll finish the day with some marvelous keynotes. We're going to talk about strategy of AI with Noah Weiss from Slack, awesome panels on blockchain and what you guys should know, not know. And we're going to finalize it. We're going to end the content portion with Gib sharing his new talk on product strategy. So many of you know Gib. He's awesome. He's waving his hand. He said he did 5 product talks this week. So I hope this is going to be your best.
Well, you just said that Drew did 250 years worth.
So he's a busy guy. You guys are both busy thought leaders. And then we will conclude with more networking time. This has always been a huge hit in the past, getting to know each other. This is a community. In this community, you guys have built friendships. You guys have dated. You guys have married. You guys have gotten jobs from one another. This has all happened. I don't know of any product babies yet, but in the future, we're going to celebrate product babies. This is really a community event. The lights are not down low. This is not like the authority here, you guys sit, take notes. This is about you guys together, all of us together as a community, which is just what makes it so warm and wonderful. And I hope you, for those of you who are new to this, you embrace that. So your plan today, learn, deepen relationships, take what you learn here and share it in your company or write about it, and have a great time. And with that, I'd like to welcome up our first awesome keynote speaker. Can you guys give a warm welcome to Carolyn Tisch-Blodgett?